Winter is on the horizon here in the Midwestern United States. A time when I usually reflect on the past riding season and what I've learned. This year was different than years past because I devoted this year to racing. And as a result, I've learned quite a bit. Yes, cross-country racing. Now, I'm not new to mountain bike racing. I've done an occasional XC race or enduro race here and there. But I've never done any of it in any serious way. And as a result, I would generally perform poorly. But this year was going to be different. You see, last year, I reviewed this very expensive cross-country race bike. And my conclusion was, well, you can hear it for yourself. I don't feel like I could push the Mach 4 SL hard enough to really get the benefits of that tech. That didn't sit well with me. Why can't I get the most out of an XC race bike? I ride XC trails a lot, and something had to change. So I dedicated myself to training for and racing cross-country. Over the winter, I spent a lot of time on the trainer while watching Dylan Johnson and Sid and Mackie videos. I didn't have the funds to buy a $10,000 high-tech full-suspension XC bike, so I got my hands on this Polygon Syncline Carbon XC hardtail. With the commitment to training and the right equipment, I was ready to take on this challenge. I wanted to know if I could give a good effort and do well.
Damn it.
Along the way, I made lots of mistakes, so let's get into it. The Yankee Springs Time Trial is the longest running mountain bike race in the state of Michigan. It dates back over 30 years. And, as the name implies, there is no mass start here. Each racer starts separately, and you're ranked by your time. Being the first event of the season, I thought of that as a positive. The negative? I've never ridden this trail system before. So it's 12 miles of blind riding at race pace.
Oh, it's sandy as hell.
This will be a common theme as the season goes on.
Alright. Here we go. Oh my god, so much sand.
I think off the start, I pushed a bit too hard, and my legs started to burn way too early in this race. So I dialed it back and tried to keep a sustainable pace.
Come on.
A wrong line choice bounced me into this tree. And that's the risk of running a blind race. I'm amazed that I came off of that without a scratch.
Oh, sorry.
But the dumbest mistake I made was assuming I wouldn't crash or need to make a trailside adjustment. Because I brought the absolute worst tool for a quick repair. Fiddling with loose bits trailside was a disaster. I lost nearly 4 minutes trying to get the bars straightened. This was an easily avoidable mistake. I was feeling demoralized at this point, but I pushed as hard as I could.
Oh, this climb sucks. Top of the berm, Rick, go. Woo!
By the end of the race, I was convinced that I was going to be near last place. but I managed a 36 out of 53 in my group. Not great, but not a total loss. I had a little time between the Yankee Springs time trial and my next major race, so I decided to hit up a short track race. A short track XC race is just what the name implies. This is a multi-lap race on a short course. The pace is fast and the riding can be aggressive. My biggest mistake here was lining up in the middle of the pack. This left me scrambling to pass slower riders while the leaders pulled away. By the middle of the race, I'd caught up to an equally matched rider and struggled to pass him. All the while, I could see the lead group several turns ahead, and we were keeping pace. Had I moved up to the front of the start, I might have been in that lead group and would have had a much better result. To be successful in anything in life, you have to believe in yourself. I didn't. I assumed I wasn't going to be as fast as the leaders and backed off. I lost the race before it even started. I wasn't going to make that mistake again.
44, you are done. Congratulations.
This particular race is important to me. It's the first of a series of 3 races in the Chicago area that is run by our local trail group, Camber.
1 minute, guys. 1 minute. 2, 1, go.
Starting in the front had paid off. On the multi-track, I'm pushing hard, but the other 2 riders I'm battling with are making a push to pass. Raceway Woods is an old racetrack that closed down in the 1960s, and it was left to become the forest that eventually became the trail system. This section is a remnant of that old racetrack, and there's lots of buckled asphalt that was slowing me down. In an effort to grab the lead again, I decided to go wide to the smoother section of track, then cut in on them and take the lead back. We were running out of multi-track fast, and it's going to be more work trying to pass on the single track. But my gambit failed. In fact, it failed miserably as I was now starting to lose ground. By the time I reached the single track, they were gone. The bad part is I only have a passing familiarity with Raceway Woods, and at this point I'm holding 3rd place. My only hope is that they hit a bottleneck where I can catch up. But I'm sure as hell not going to give up my 3rd place spot.
How we going? super loose.
I can't believe it. I'm going to make podium. This is YouTuber gold. Except I didn't make podium.
Dinner style.
Turns out, one racer in my group had a birthday between when he signed up and when the race happened. So he started 2 minutes ahead in the wave before mine. After an adjustment to the time, he still made podium in second place, which then bumped me to fourth. I'm happy with the result, but running the whole race thinking I made podium and then not get it was kind of a bummer. But that falls on me. I should have been more familiar with the trails, especially since they're only an hour's drive from me. Before I ever committed to XC racing, my friend Rico told me about a unique race in Michigan's Upper Peninsula called Miner's Revenge. You'll see what's unique about it shortly. Rico did this race last year and thought I'd enjoy the challenge of this place. After briefly surveying some of the course the evening before, I worried that perhaps I underbiked myself.
God, yeah. Yeah, and it's just really cool stuff.
That was awesome. Scary.
You'll be alright.
My Polygon XC hardtail was set up to be ultralight and ultra fast. The only change I made to the bike for this race was to add a dropper post. Isn't it adorable? A 50mm RockShox reverb axis should do the job, I think. My biggest concern was shredding the ultra-lightweight tires on the sharp rocks of this trail system, and the Carbon XC hardtail might be a handful on the steep gnarly terrain. Plus, I'm riding this trail totally blind. Running a full squish bike here would be the logical thing to do.
Trying to see if anybody even is on a hardtail. Everybody's on full suspensions.
So I decided to run the hardtail.
Frank, any last words?
Tell my family I love them. All right, here we go. Woo!
I'm racing through a mine. How cool is this? I told you this was a unique event.
Walk bike, walk your bike. This is crazy. Oh no! You found it? All right.
I didn't have high expectations about this race.
No worries.
Rico and I decided to, I don't know what to call it other than buddy race? We would tackle the course together, waiting on each other if we got hung up. The reality was that Rico was waiting on me.
Oh man, I'm glad I let off the brakes. All right. Definitely using all the gears I have.
This might have been the most grueling course I've ever ridden, and I signed up for 2 laps of this. Thanks, Rico.
Oh, 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 oh. There we go again. Oh, whoa, that looks nasty. Don't stuff the wheel. Oh, God. Rico just breezes into this thing. Oh my God. That was awful. That was so bad.
It gets easier for the second half of the lap.
So this is this is the second half of the lap.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Oh God. All right, come on. Stay on it. Oh, holy shit. Woo!
As we got into the second lap, I felt a little more confident now that I've seen the course. I unleashed Rico to go and shred the remainder of the final lap without being encumbered by me.
Oh, man. Oh, that's nasty. Come on, come on, come on. The rocks are sticky. It's been a great hike so far. Oh, here we go. Holy crap.
The 2 laps of Miner's Revenge totaled a little over 10 miles and took me almost 3 hours to finish. It was a tough race, by far the toughest to date. I'm not too concerned about this performance. I didn't really take it too seriously, but I now have a better feel for the terrain. If I do this race again, I'll be better prepared, and maybe I'll give it more effort. You're probably thinking that the big mistake was not grabbing the full suspension bike. But in reality, I'm glad I used the XC hardtail. The climbs were much easier on the hardtail, which is nearly 10 pounds lighter than the full suspension. It really boiled down to a lack of experience with an XC bike on this type of terrain. On the second lap, I cleared several sections that I walked on the first.
Here comes the pseudo effort. Yeah.
The next time will be much better. I didn't die and got a much needed adrenaline rush. And how did I do?
Oh my God.
Dead
That was hard.
last. The Palos Meltdown was the second race in the Camber series, but to me, it was the most important. This event has the biggest field of racers in the area, and most importantly, it's held at my home trails. I know this system better than any other, and I've previously done this race. Finishing at the back of the pack in 2019, which was my first mountain bike race, and in the middle of the pack in 2022, when I was getting over a bout of COVID. This time there were no excuses. It's do or die.
Guys, go on the siren.
I set up the bike for maximum efficiency. For this race, I removed the dropper post and went back to the fixed seat post. And for the first time, I'm racing with clipless pedals. I have very little experience with clipless pedals on single track. I've never had an interest in clipping in, but the gains from running clipless pedals, Shimano SPDs in this case, is noticeable. I've been practicing for a few weeks now, and I felt the Meltdown was the best opportunity to use them. Of course, nothing is ever easy. Mother Nature decided to dump on us a few hours earlier than expected. The organizers modified the course in order to minimize the damage to the trails. Palos does not hold up well to rain. Off the start, my slow clip-in definitely hurt me. I need to keep pace with the lead group here if I'm going to have a chance at winning this. The plan is to ride the bike in as straight a line as possible. Conditions are very slick.
On your left. On your left. On your left. Come between you. Thank you.
As long as I keep my forward momentum, I should be good. Or maybe not. Every second lost here is costing me position.
Okay, go ahead.
Just pass me it over.
No worries, all right. Just ride your ride. Have fun and good luck. Thank you.
This one's okay, bro.
Thank you too.
I need to push through and close ground on the lead group. bottlenecks are my biggest fear.
Perfect.
They almost always happen on an upslope, and I'm quickly realizing that I am not good at clipping in these conditions. And again, I'm losing positions with every second I've stopped.
Let's do this. We're almost done. Almost done.
One more up.
Damn. That's a ton of spots.
By lap 2, the field was more spread out, which gave me some room to really open it up to try to catch up. The hope is that the leaders are pacing themselves and won't see me coming.
On your right. Thanks, good luck.
Yep, you do, man.
In these conditions, I felt like I was on the razor's edge. One mistake and I go down.
Laps is this race? Okay, perfect, thanks.
And of course, as I'm about to come off the single track and head to the finish, the unthinkable happens.
Okay.
Very greasy all the way.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
Even on the other side going off. Very greasy.
Oh shit. Oh. Yeah. Picked a bad day to learn clipless pedals.
I crashed and my saddle got knocked sideways.
Go ahead, man.
The seat post clamp is so clogged with mud that I can't close it.
Whew. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Oh shit. Come on. I want this thing close. Damn it.
I am so close.
No.
If I stay here trying to fix it, I'm going to destroy all that effort, like I did in Yankee Springs earlier this year.
Damn it. We gotta go. I have to deal with it.
So I slammed the seat, got in a hard gear,
Oh my God.
and sprinted.
I got nothing.
Until I couldn't anymore. Yes, grassy hill. Years ago, I lamented of how much of a sufferfest this climb was. And when you put in your head also that your rolling resistance is off the charts with all that grass and those thick knobby Maxxis minions, it just tends to get in your head a bit. At the time, I blamed it on my tires. But it ain't the tires.
No! Come on!
And that was it. My third Palos meltdown in the books. With the bottlenecks and the crash at the end, I didn't expect to do all that well. Despite all that, I managed an 8th place in my age group. While not a podium finish, it was a significant improvement from my previous efforts. Perhaps I shouldn't have gone with the clipless pedals. The meltdown was the climax of my racing season. After that, my drive to win and my general need to stick to my training regimen began to fade. But I still had one more race in the Camber Series, the Paul Douglas Pursuit. Paul Douglas is a new trail in the area that's windy but mostly flat. Despite the 95-degree weather and some mild food poisoning, I managed a 6th place finish. And with that, my XC race season came to an official end. It was a pretty busy season of riding, training, and discipline. I took myself out of my comfort zone by underbiking, or simply running a setup that I wasn't accustomed to. I became more fit, and my cardio was excellent. Bizarrely enough, I actually gained weight. A lot of that was muscle in my legs, but I also seemed to have built up a gut, so I never really mastered my diet. But in the end, I became a stronger rider. And as someone who much prefers to go downhill, I actually enjoyed the sufferfest that is XC racing. I'm happy with how the season turned out. In fact, I ended up ranked 10th overall among all ages in the Camber Series, proving that consistency and showing up is half the battle. I didn't make podium this year like I wanted. I made enough mistakes to keep it just out of reach. But that's the nature of anything worthwhile. We have to be in a constant state of self-reflection. Be willing to learn from our mistakes. Exhibit humility when we're learning, and confidence while we're competing. We have to dig deep when all seems hopeless. Victory happens when your best efforts intersect with the right moment. And when you're always making your best effort, your time will eventually come. I hope you enjoyed this leg of my journey. Thanks for watching.